All right. Ed's character guide has come out. This is the first time anything related to Ed in Street Fighter 6 has come out earlier than I expected. That's for sure. So no surprise. I have watched it a bit, and I don't have nowhere near as much stuff to say about this as I did the initial gameplay trailer. But I mean, that's to be expected. This is more so just confirming a lot of our speculation about Ed's tools. There's still plenty of questions, and there are some new things that I think are a bit interesting. But I'm not going to slow mo the whole thing like last time. So let's just get into it. Okay. First things first. We can see Ed's forward walk speed here, and we do see his back walk speed throughout as well. I mean, I don't know what to say about it really. It's kind of hard to gauge how fast or slow it is. It's definitely not slow, you know. It's not like some kind of JP or Street Fighter 5 and Bison walk. As you see here, he shuffles forward. It seems reasonably fast, pretty quick. Hard to tell because his animation is a bit he's doing like a boxer step, so hard to get a gauge of exactly how fast it is. It looks pretty fast though, I would say. If not fast, then at least standard, which is great. Yep, this is talking about the flicker punches. One interesting thing about this, again, this is a lot of stuff we've already seen and talked about. Here's these flickers. That's light flicker. This is pretty much now confirmed to be medium flicker, like medium kick. Still don't know if it hits low, although it seems like it does based on Aki's animation. Um, we'll have to see, right? Now, this next one, recently just watching this, I again changed my opinion on what this might be. This one here. First, I thought this was just medium flicker when I saw the trailer. Then I got to thinking this is actually a crouching flicker. And now seeing this, I've gone back to thinking I think this is just heavy kick flicker standing, even though he looks crouching. Um, both times we've seen, or every time we've seen this move, it's come from a standing stance, and he crouches into it. Um, and considering they're showing light, medium, heavy here, I think that it is actually medium. Sorry, heavy flicker. And the target combo that it leads into, I think it's like a heavy, like maybe I think it's going to be heavy kick, heavy punch target combo, or heavy kick, crouching, heavy punch. So maybe we still haven't seen what Ed's buttons do, his kicks do when he's crouching. We haven't seen a lot of crouching from Ed. We've seen maybe like a crouch light punch and maybe a crouch heavy punch, but even then I don't think so. So we don't really know Ed's crouching buttons in general or how Flicker interacts with crouch. So yeah, I think that's a heavy now. I'm pretty certain. And now we'll see a fair few target combos. We've seen that one already. No real new thoughts on it. Looks like I mean, it looks like it goes into a low and then a mid and then an overhead. But we still don't know if that's the low or that's an overhead. But they really do look like they are. We'll see. That's the target combo I was talking about. I think that's heavy punch, or sorry, heavy kick into heavy punch. And I know it at least cancels into level 1 because we've seen it cancel into level 1 in the first trailer. And the cool thing about this, I will slow this one down. He moves so far forward. Oh, never mind. Here we go. He moves so far forward with this target combo. Like, look right into it and then up here. This seems like pretty useful. I think when you're doing your normal damage combos, you'll just do the standing medium punch into heavy punch target combo. But that one seems really useful in neutral if you know you're gonna confirm your heavy punch flicker. So Pretty cool. Here we go. So, okay, so this we found out that these, I mean, we kind of already knew, but it seems like any of the psycho powered ones are just you do a motion, like quarter circle forward kick, and you hold it or let it go, and it does this, and holding it fully charged does the snatcher. So yeah, these seem good, and towards the end of the video, actually at the very end, I think there's something very, well, kind of interesting about these flickers, but we'll get there eventually. Psycho Knuckle. Again, I don't really have anything to say about this move. It's pretty much the same as Street Fighter 5, but it beats Fireballs now. It's still very slow. We really haven't seen too much of how long you can hold it and cancel it without it becoming a Psycho Knuckle. But yeah, if you know this move well in 5, then there's not really much to talk about here. Very slow. You're not doing this move on reaction to most things. You're kind of holding it and hoping you see something, and then you can just let it rock all the way, or you're just flat out guessing. But you're not seeing a fireball and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna psycho knuckle that." That's it. It's not gonna work like that. Awesome little bobs he does there. Love that. All right. I think I have a bit more idea about Spark than I did in the gameplay trailer. This version of Spark seems so much better than his Street Fighter 5 Spark. Uh, we could still be wrong, of course, but first of all, seems way smaller. As I said in the other video, seems way smaller, which is way better. We'll have to see how easy or hard this is to whiff punish and how it interacts with normals. But it seems a lot shorter and self-contained, and it seems way faster than the original Spark. If you go back and look at Spark in Street Fighter 5, it was pretty slow, especially compared to this. But like, look at this. That is quick. That is very quick. They probably made it better because now it takes a motion to come out instead of just being a forward input. And this is safe on block, but minus is what they're telling us. Cool, I guess. Good spacing as well, so you're not really... The thing you want to look for when you do a move that's minus is, are you putting yourself into a mix-up when you do it, pretty much. I see this a lot in the games I play. Aki, funny that Aki is the character here. People will do a lot of her Coward's Crouch into the kick, the two kicks, or they'll do non-EX, the snake dive, and it puts her at -2 right in your face, and it's like 9 out of 10 times that's not worth it on block, because now I walk backwards, you know, try to throw, I get a full punish on you, or I just throw you because you don't want to tech again, advantage me. It's not worth putting yourself in that kind of mix-up, even against standard characters, but especially against grapplers. So back to the point. It's good that when you do this on block, it creates enough distance that her throwing you isn't really a realistic threat. I mean, she can walk forward and you know, throw you, but you can walk backwards, you can block, you can interrupt with a jab because you can kind of see it. So that's good. This is a good safe on block move. Good way to end, as we saw, a target combo that would otherwise be very unsafe. Like, look at that. Great spacing here. At the same time, it seems like Ed can end his cancels with his backsway as well, which I'm sure there are some punishes for it, but also another way to keep himself safe. Alright, we're on to the Psycho Shots. I don't know why they call this Psycho Shoot. Maybe it's a mistranslation, but they've really stuck to it. It's called Psycho Shot in Street Fighter 5. But this is the light version, and it's pretty slow. That's pretty good, for a slow fireball. It could be slower. You're not following this in with a drive rush, I don't think. I think it's too fast. And that is fair enough. I don't think Ed should get that off a meterless fireball. But that's medium heavy. The thing you have to understand about Ed, and it's more so in this game, I feel, even compared to Street Fighter V, is you are not a fireball zoner, and I don't think you ever will be in pretty much any matchup. Well, maybe that's not the right way to put it. Let's just say if you plan to play some kind of fireball game with this character, it's very different to a fireball game from any other character, because the first things first, let's get back to it. The full animation of Ed's spark into fireball is anybody can on reaction jump that. The full animation. If they see the spark coming, oh, he's gonna throw a fireball, I'll jump and punish it. Anybody can do that. All right, even people with poor reactions can do this. It's very, that is a lot of animation just to get a fireball out, right? Someone sees the spark and they jump, they're punishing your fireball. But of course, because it's a two-part fireball, you spark and then do nothing, obviously. Then they like jump and you anti-air them. And Ed has big anti-air damage in this game, as we'll get to. So that's the idea behind Ed's fireball game, especially in this game. If you want to play that, that kind of game here or there, that's how it's played. It's not played in a traditional kind of like spacing trap kind of way, if that makes sense. A lot of fireball games are based around spacing traps where you'll see that they block a fireball and you'll know that at the range they blocked it, you're able to throw another one, and that if they jump, you still will have time to anti-air. And your opponent is trying to kind of better position themselves in that zoning so that they're in a position where if they do jump, they will get a punish, right? And then they pick their moment. But Ed, it's more, as I said, he's going to fake fireball or fireball. And if he does a real one and you jumped, you easily reacted to it. But if he fakes it, you're going to get anti-Ed pretty hard. And obviously, one of the biggest parts of this fireball is its anti-fireball properties, right? Like, look at that. That punished her fireball at like this range. Fast, heavy fireball is super fast, so it's kind of cute, right? And this, yeah, EX, we already know about this. That's a slow fireball. You can kind of drive rush behind this, it looks like. I'm not sure. Let's kind of try to work out where Ed... I want to see where he kind of can take action after throwing this fireball, right? To see if he could realistically follow it. Yep, punished for throwing a fireball. Yeah, I'm on. Alright. Okay, how far away is he? Full screen? That's definitely, yeah. He's deliberately moved full screen. Alright, let's see if we can work it out, hey? They've kept the idle animation going, so we can't really get too much of an idea. It's probably somewhere around here, right? If you drive rush here, I mean, we don't know too much about Ed's drive rush. It seems kind of, it might be a bit shallow, but maybe you just kill rush, right? Behind this. Or maybe you do drive rush and that big jumping heavy punch, right? I don't know. We'll see. Hard to say. But yeah, slow fireball, very slow fireball. That's really good for a slow fireball. And that that is super fast. This is cool. They make it seem like it's minus but safe. Uh, in 5 it was plus, so you could kind of mix them. But in this, even if it is plus, well, you'd be pretty close. But I feel like they wouldn't have shown Aki jabbing here if it was plus because, you know, she can't jab there realistically if it is plus. Cool little combo. Reminds me a bit of Street Fighter 5. Uppers seem really good in this game. A lot more use than Street Fighter 5 because there's a lot of different versions. Alright, this is the important part. They have air invincibility, which is fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted, right? So, you know, and it's not just the light one that we're going to be using either. As they show here, um, you can step into your anti-airs, which is awesome. See that? Like he was like here, and then he done heavy upper and like stepped forward into the anti-air, which is really cool. Love stuff like that. They're all air invincible. That's great. All right, this is pretty big. Um, from what I've gathered in the other this and the other gameplay trailers is that I don't think you can cancel an upper into level 3, but there's some places where it looks like you can do heavy upper and link it into level 3. At least that's what it showed in the Ed's theme trailer. But this seems to solve the problem that may or may not exist. Light upper, this move can definitely be cancelled into level 3. We see it a couple times, and yeah. So you can anti-air into level 3, probably around 40 to 50% off an anti-air, you know, which is really good, especially with the whole fake fireball, you know. Although I think honestly, people should be able to walk it down in the fireball game. I don't think he's keeping anyone out with his fireballs, really. But yeah, look, and then super here. I don't see why it wouldn't work. So Ed, very high damage anti-air character, um, which there are honestly not too many of in this game. I think Chun is one of them, and other than that, no one really juggles off their anti-airs too much. So this is a very good thing to have. See, there's into the heavy upper. We've seen that before. All right. Now, I do have quite a bit to say about this. They have gone with essentially Ed's EX upper is the same as Street Fighter 5, which actually makes it worse. This is a worse upper than Street Fighter 5, which was a reversal that already had a lot of problems. It's good in some ways that other reversals aren't, and that will continue in this game as well. But it's bad in a lot of ways that other reversals aren't. And on top of that, you have to consider Ed's upper in Street Fighter V. It was just 3 punches, and not having to do a motion 3 punches. There were a lot of things you could react to quite easily um, with an EX upper, with its forward moving momentum, its high invincibility. There were a lot of things that other characters couldn't really realistically kind of reversal on reaction, but Ed could because easy inputs, lots of invincibility. And in this, it's the same, long startup, which is a problem. But then it's a Dragon Punch motion, right? So it's definitely a nerf from Street Fighter V. This button, this is one of his weaknesses, in my opinion. One of his biggest weaknesses is going to be this reversal, and people are going to get away with things that they wouldn't get away against other reversals, right? And it's not. It's something you have to be conscious about with this character, and you can't really ignore it. You're gonna have to really think about this, and it's gonna be very important. But at the same time, um, there's other characters that don't even have reversals, right? And I thought, as I said in the other video, I was hoping his level 1 would possibly make up for this by being faster and invincible. And it is invincible, but it is actually 1 frame slower than this, believe it or not. This move is around 13 frames startup, and his level 1 is 14 frames startup. So slow reversals, that's going to be one of the weak points of this character. But also a strength in some ways. Like, as you'll see, this, that's one of, for example, this is the strength of it. You're going to be able to go invulnerable through some pretty active attacks, and because of the good moving forward momentum, you can do cool stuff like this, right? You see there, Aki done jab, and jabs are very common on Wake Up in this game. You'll find because jabs are very often the only kind of real, what would you call them? Like frame traps in this game. Chain jabs work a bit uniquely in this game in that they frame trap, but at the same time they don't allow enough gap for someone to do a reversal. Because normally, someone does a frame trap, you can DP it between the gap that's their plus on. But in this game, you can do kind of chain jabs, and if they try to do anything, they'll get hit. Other than parry, they can parry them. Even though there's no real gap, it's a chain, they can still parry. Like I said, very unique in this game, which makes them very common. And expect to get jabbed on Wake Up constantly as this character, because that way they won't have to think about blocking your reversal. And on top of that, chain jabs are very good in this game. Lots of good block strings with them. Lots of good traps. You can't really set up too much pressure off them once you've really pressed it a few times, but yeah. But see, this gets hit because too slow. I'm not gonna, it's not that bad. Here's the level 1. Oh no, Blitz, sorry. So yeah, this is essentially Psycho Flicker from Street Fighter V in function. Now it seems that all versions are unsafe on block. And yeah, that's what, not too much to talk about with these. They cancel into level 3 or even level 2 and with the EX. And they just seem, combo fodder really. Which is, they're cool. Different knockdowns, which will, you might want to leave certain opponents standing depending on the matchup. Others you might want to knock away like this. And this, the EX version is safe on block apparently. I don't think it's plus, but maybe it'll be plus when they're in burnout. We'll have to find out. Um, I don't think you really want to do this on block though, because yeah, as we were talking about earlier, you do this on block, you know, you spent 2 bars to do this on block, and look how close you are. You're in a mix up now. She's gonna throw you, she's gonna shimmy you. Maybe she'll do like her snake strike to kind of throw bait you, whatever Aki players do. Um, not worth 2 bars to be put in that mix. Maybe just finish your combo with a spark or a kill rush, right? Because 2 bars to get put into this mix, no thanks. Maybe good in burnout though, obviously. Might do really good chip and B plus. Another thing, I didn't talk about this in the other video, but I was wondering when I saw this in the first video if he would be able to get a combo off this juggle. It seems too fast. I think the reason for this is just so that it combos into level 2 and level 3 well. Right? Doesn't seem like a comboable kind of knock up other than to cancel into supers. Although, okay, let's take a look at this. There's something I want to check. What if this is the block one? Come on. Okay. I really want to get to the old... Come on. When does this recover? That's the question I have. It's really hard to tell again because they let the animations rock. I'm kind of going by his glow kind of going away. What I'm thinking is maybe if you do this move in the corner, maybe you get a follow-up, right? I'm leaning more towards no, but maybe it leaves you close enough that you can do some kind of, you know, extra special cancel in the corner, right? I hope so, because that would be fun. But yeah, we'll see. Cool move though, really like it. Maybe if you do this in the corner, you're close enough for a follow-up. Probably not. Alright, we talked about this earlier. This is just the semi-charged flickers. Very cool. I'll have a bit more to say about these towards the end. Yep, Snatcher from charging the flicker. Anti-air version, pretty cool. Love these animations. So good. Alright, this is a bit new, but we kind of guessed from the trailer. You can cancel your Snatcher into a kill rush. We saw in the trailer you could backdash, but it also, as expected, you can also forward dash cancel this, which is very cool. And they go over a bit kind of the mind game at play with this move. You know, you charge it here, they get ready to parry it. and you just kill rush cancel into a throw. Or you could be charging an anti-air flicker, right? And if they think they can jump it, you let it rock. Or if you're not charging the anti-air, you're just charging a kind of grounded one, then you just kill rush it back out of the way, right? But there's a lot of mind games to play with this move. It's a lot more kind of diverse, and it has a lot more utility than it did in Street Fighter V. We'll see how that develops. All right, this move. Oh yeah, another thing I should say. Even with the regular flicker, snatcher that we just saw, plus on block like Street Fighter 5. So that adds yet another layer to the kind of mind games you're going to be able to play with this move. Ed is going to really, I don't know if excel is the right word, but in these ranges, if he wants to play very kind of annoyingly, he's going to be able to. He's going to be able to force these kind of silly mind games where, sure, he can guess wrong and get really severely punished for it, but he can also get huge openings from it as well. And this is from, like, decently far away on the screen. He's very threatening at these ranges if he wants to kind of commit to some kind of mind game, which is interesting. But even the plus version, the EX version is plus, and well, I should call it OD, right? Another interesting thing about the OD version is I believe it's 25 frame startup, which is pretty much the same as Drive Impact. And these snatches, unlike Street Fighter 5, they do not beat armor. We'll see later, but you can DI these, right? So, which is fair. I mean, if these broke armor as well, I think it would be a bit a bit too much. Um, but yeah, 25 frames, and it pulls you in, and it's like +4, I think, from what people have kind of worked out. It's kind of another Dragon Lash situation where if you're not looking for this move, you're gonna block it, and Ed's gonna get a mix up on you, like a strike throw mix up. It seems pretty obnoxious. You can react to it though and get a pretty big punish, but you have to really be looking for it. Right? You could look for DI at the same time though, as an example, but a very good player isn't going to be DIing you randomly at that range anyway, right? So yeah, this is plus. We'll see it in a bit. Oh, no, that's just the pull up. This +4, I believe. Gets hit here with a standing medium punch. And if it is +4, I'm fairly confident +4, even though it pulls like point blank, I'm fairly confident that's enough to, kind of walk back. So it's a shimmy mix up, right? So this is quite powerful, I think. Although you cannot sway cancel the EX versions, but they're so quick comparatively that I don't see what the point of that would be really anyway. Well, I mean, I guess you could kind of bait out the reaction, right? If you did EX and then back swayed it and they DI'd, in reaction, I guess that is it would be a bit silly. I'm glad that they didn't allow that to be a thing. Yeah, see, as I say here, you can't faint with it. EX is a commitment. As you see there, it got DI'd, so it no longer beats armor. Alright, Kill Rush. We learned a bit more about this move. There doesn't seem to be an EX version, which we kind of learned from the inputs. We still don't know what the inputs are, but my guess is 2 punches. That's just a guess though, we'll see. And you can use this as a special cancel, which means you can cancel any like normal that can special cancel into a command dash, which is cool, and we'll see it. And the uppercuts are timing based. So if you do an uppercut early, you get the light uppercut, and if you do it later, you get the corkscrew uppercut, which it makes a lot of sense in hindsight, because when I was watching a lot of the combos in the first video, I was wondering why they didn't do a corkscrew uppercut in some places and they did a light one to combo. And I thought, well, maybe it just didn't combo because of a bit slow startup, but it's actually because the timing, right? So if you left it later, it wouldn't. And yeah, as we see here. It's cool. One cool thing about it is it links into other things. See here, this is a link. Which the important thing about this, I'm sure these moves will have unique scaling, kind of like how Luke's Knuckles do. So it's hard to guess on the damage, but one thing that's important to note, this linking into this, it's more damage than if it was a cancel. Because cancels kind of, they give you more scaling, but a link, less scaling. And another interesting thing here, this is stand heavy into corkscrew upper, right? So it seems that it's a natural combo to do stand heavy into the heavier upper. I'd initially thought maybe if you did some kind of counter hit specific stuff, you'd be able to combo into the corkscrew, and that might give some depth to his combo routes. But it seems heavy gets it anyway naturally. But there might be some, like if you do a counter hit, I don't know, crouching medium punch, you might get a corkscrew. So as a whiff punish, you could get pretty big damage, uh, meterless really, or just a really strong starter. But I mean, a lot of speculation. We won't know for a while. Well, a week, right? A bit over a week. As I said earlier, slow startup on this, but it is invincible. So, and I love this super. Like I didn't expect the level 1 to be my favorite, but it's just really cool. Let's see. He does the Ali shuffle into like a southpaw stance. It's just really cool. I love all the kind of Ali and the Hearns and the even a bit of Leonard inspiration it has. Huge fan. This is super punishable, as to be expected from, a super. Psycho Cannon. Alright. This is a move that it's very much going to dictate if Ed is super top tier. And I mean, he could be even without it, right? But this is a very kind of, I don't know what the right way to put it is. It could be a really big deal. It could be a very, much like Rashid's level 2 is so important to his entire character. I don't think this one, I think there's essentially no chance this is as good as Rashid's, but it may be good on a very significant level. Fastball pulls in. Nothing we haven't seen in Street Fighter 5. Fastball, very fast. And now he, as we find out in this video, he has the slow ball. But I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Even without going into looking up setups and that, even just throwing this out in neutral, I mean, we'll get there, right? Okay. Ed, you throw it out, you anti-air. In Street Fighter 5, you threw this out. They jumped, you anti-aired. First thing, it was very easy to anti-air with Ed in Street Fighter 5 because no motions, you just press 2 kicks. Anti-air pushes them way forward back into the ball, and then you would push them in and out, and get your mix-ups, right? Protect yourself because if they reversal, they'd reversal into the ball. Yeah, in this, it's going to be harder to anti-air people trying to jump over it, just the nature of motions for your anti-airs. But at the same time, hits him here, doesn't land anywhere near the ball. The ball is essentially off screen, right? So it seems like, I'm not sure. I think that you'll be able to push them back into the ball because if they can just take the anti-air every time and avoid the ball in general, I mean, most people are going to jump most of the time, right? Because why wouldn't you take an anti-air that isn't going to kill you, avoid the mix-up? But I feel like you probably will be able to push them into ball. It just looks very close, is maybe the best way to put it from this, right? Let's get back to it. All right. Because Ed is pretty much in the ball here, and he anti-airs pretty early, right? Light DP, which is honestly probably the one you're going to be using in this situation pretty much every time because they're going to be jumping. You're going to want to be on the ball, right? He comes down. The thing with this, if you do another upper or whatever, maybe you can do one of the flicker follow-ups and it'll knock him into the ball, which would be awesome, by the way. If you did like heavy flicker and it just shot them into the ball and then you snatched them off the ball. Very cool. Maybe heavy upper into the ball. I've looked at their knockback and I don't know if they'd really do that. But there is one thing, obviously, as we know, this anti-air is high enough for you to get a follow-up, right? Which means Ed is already recovered at this point in the animation. Which made me realize, if you just want to go for light anti-air and sit on them, you can get pretty great Oki off of his anti-airs. But it also means that we may be able to just dash them into the ball off of a light anti-air. Don't go for the follow-up maybe, and just dash them into the ball, right? Like how you did in Street Fighter 5. So already you'd be forward dashing here to just push them back into the ball, right? Maybe that's how it's going to be. As you see, very far away from the ball's off the screen. You know what I mean? But yeah, another thing that it's very hard to kind of assume anything about this or guess other than it looks pretty tight either way. So we'll see. But like I said, I do find it hard to believe that they would make it so you could just take an anti-air and completely avoid the ball in neutral, right? We'll see. And level 3 is actually 17 frame startup, which is very slow. Not too much to say about it. But there is something interesting. I said I would talk about this earlier. Look at this, right? This is easy to miss. Look what happens here. He does stand heavy punch. But what does he cancel into super? Oh, it's a flicker. He does a flicker into super. So what that means, we'll have to see. I feel like this is going to be a pretty. This could be a long range level 3, like decently. He could kind of shoot forward a little bit. So what that means, in my opinion, or in my estimations, let's see if we can get back to these flickers, right? Where are they? Psycho Blitz. Flicker. These moves, you can cancel this into super. And you're not single hit confirming it, right? You're not single hit confirming it. But it's interesting. If you throw one of these out and you see that it's going to hit, I mean, if it's going to be a counter hit, if you're going to punish counter with it, we already know you can drive rush, follow up the crumple and get a combo. But if it's going to be like a counter hit, like maybe they're drive rushing at you and you just flick them in the face with this and you see the drive rush before it goes off, you can probably cancel this into super, like level 3. And it'll probably hit even from pretty far away. Right? Like this distance, I find it hard to believe this would combo into level 3. It seems a bit far. I mean, maybe it will. Who knows? We haven't seen the animation of the level 3 when it doesn't, connect. And it is very slow, but interesting that you can combo this move into level 3. So yeah, that's it really. Looking good. I think he's going to be a pretty good character. I mean, I don't like to talk about the balance of a character before they're even out, but I mean, he has a lot of tools. There's a lot going on. So I think he's going to be a fun character that's pretty technical in comparison to most characters, which is exactly what I was hoping for. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit over a week when he releases. I've already taken work off, so it's going to be great.